Yeah, it was amazing to be part of a World Championship tournament. It was just insane. It was just to be on the court with the eventual world champions and just be at a World Championships. It was a dream come true.
What did you and Cordy learn about yourselves on that trip and where you are in the world at the moment?
Lots and lots. We're in some ways we're really close to these top teams in the world. I think we were 18 all with the number one seeds in the tournament. Not the number one seeds, but Allison and Bruno. We were 18 all with them, and we felt like we're close to these big teams. And then the very next game against the Austrians, or I think 10th in the world, Doppler and Horst, they just smashed us. So in some ways we feel like we're improving and getting closer to the level we want to be, but there's still shows that we've still got a fair few things we need to work on as well, just to bridge that gap, even though sometimes it looks like that gap's small. But we're getting much closer. We're getting closer.
Now, did you come away from there thinking that you can mix it and that you belong with the big guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when me and Owen, my old partner, when we first went over the World Tour, it took us a few games to feel like we actually belonged till we actually won a game. And then me and Cordy had a bit of success there. We made a couple of main draws, so you're starting to feel like you belong. And then, being at a World Champs and, having a good game and even winning a game in our pool against Qatar as well, they had a great tournament as well. So, so definitely more and more, the more and more we play, I suppose it's like anything, the more and more you do something, the more and more we play against these guys, the more and more we feel like we belong. And still a lot of work to do as well to get to the level we want to get to, but definitely feeling more and more like we belong.
Mate, tell us a little bit about the road to Rio then. Map it out for us.
It's complicated. Of course, the number one team, Chris and Isaac as well, they're trying to qualify outright, and then if they manage to do that, then there's a spot up for grabs at the Continental Cup. I don't know, I haven't done the numbers and all that sort of stuff to see where those guys are at. They're pushing hard to do their best as well. And then through the Continental Cup, we'll be one of the teams trying to get selected to participate in the Continental Cup and help Australia get that spot.
Let's be pessimists for a moment. Let's say Chris and Isaac don't get direct qualification. Does that rule you out then if they then come back to the Continental, or is it then it's all positions are up for grabs?
Yeah, I mean, at any stage, I mean, they're the number one team outright by a fair bit. So, I mean, you'd sort of assume that they'd probably have first dibs on it if there's a spot up for grabs, but you never know. So it's basically what all the Australian teams have tried to do, the top sort of Australian teams. We've all talked about it a few times, just sort of doing everything each individual team can to try and help out to get that spot. And then whoever gets selected for that spot, we can't think about too much down the road. We just got to do everything we can to help get that spot for Australia, basically, and then I suppose fight over it once we get it.
Now we're standing on a beach in South Melbourne in the middle of winter. Tell me about your training regime then between now and the Continental Cup. What is it going to involve for you and Josh?
Well, it's I think it's 9 degrees today, and it's absolutely balmy. I can't believe how warm it is. The last few weeks has been pouring down rain, and I think 6 degrees or something. So I think the Continental Cup's coming up later in the year, which we'll definitely try and be a part of course. But in between then, there's some Asian Tour stuff we'd like to get put our names up for, and also some World Tour events, and just training as hard as we can. And again, being at World Champs, it's inspiring as well. So trying to cut back on work as much as we can to give ourselves every chance of. Getting as close as we can to being full-time athletes and real early mornings. Cordy's been doing some psycho early mornings. I'm in the gym at the moment, just crazy stuff. But I can't go that early. But I'm trying to get there at 6 a.m. and stuff. And so just trying to do everything we can to give ourselves the best chance of doing well when we get overseas.
Because of course you and Josh both do have full-time jobs. So how many days a week can you actually realistically get to have a good training session on the beach?
We've got full-time jobs, but we've sort of cut it back a little bit, and so we're trying to train 6 days a week, trying to get a few rest days in, but we're basically trying to train every day, one or two sessions at least every day, and gym and weights around that sort of stuff, and so we've cut back on work a little bit, so we're trying not to eat too many 2-minute noodles and all that sort of stuff, but doing everything we can to train as much as we can.
Hey, mate, I know how hard it is for you guys to make ends meet, but you've had some good news in the last week or so, sponsorship-wise.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to become part of the VIS as well. So,
Sure.
look at that.
There you go. Yep.
So yeah, good rain jacket. So we've been lucky enough to be part of the VIS, which is obviously a massive help in terms of getting access to all the physios and all the osteos and the services. We've got great osteos that help us out already at Stay Tuned. But just having, the sports psychologists, just having that support of, the VIS and the gym there and all the recovery stuff, the ice baths, and they've got a, heat room and etc., all these things I don't understand yet. But, so they're a massive help to us as well, which is great.
Well, mate, it's going to be a fascinating journey over the next 12 months or so. Best of luck. We'll all be watching and cheering you on, so I hope it all comes good for you.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, Steve.